The topic I want to talk about is how to actually train a recruiter. And the word recruiter is what I really want to focus on first. There are very few people that are recruiters out there. Okay. Half the people who think they're recruiters will tell you they've recruited a lot of agents, and that's primarily low producing agents and new licensees. That's 95% of recruiters. That is typically where they coach and where they recruit. It is very rare to find someone that can recruit high level agents with any consistency. And when I tell you rare, really rare, like they become people like Keller Williams, Dave Liniger at Remax. Those are the highest value people in the United States, North American real estate industry. They are worth more than any broker owner that employs them, and they learn that very quickly. I'm just here to tell you, people that can coach at that level and recruit at that level, and they're one and the same. And most recruiters sit down, and even before their first appointment, they're wondering, how am I going to get this person? Top recruiters don't think about that. They prepare by comparing their commission split versus the commission split that the agent has at their current office. Top recruiters don't do that. That's how recruiters that recruit new licensees recruit. Why? Those people have to make a decision. They're deciding which office to hang their license with. They just got their license. So yeah, go for the close. But you start doing that with high producing agents, you'll do what we call poison the well. Because no one will answer your phone calls. Why? Because they know that you're going to pressure ask them at the end of your appointment. You're a prospector. You're a lead generator. You're a shark. You're all the things that make people hate recruiting. So you will poison the well. It'll start getting very hard to get appointments after a while. That's what ends up happening. Everything's a recruiting appointment. And most importantly, this you don't see very often, but you have to look at it from the bird's eye view that we do in our company, is the retention gets real bad. Because everybody in the office knows you're a shark and that you're turning people and throwing them over your shoulder. So the retention gets really bad if that's how you recruit. You have a high turnover of your top producers, which is extremely stressful, unstable, and volatile if your top people are just constantly cycling in and out. So it's very important that we train recruiters patiently. If you want longevity and if you want to create someone that will recruit at a high level. And it has to do with a lot more listening than it is talking. You know, you can only control the line of questioning, but you're not going to control the dialogue. This is not a sales pitch. You need to treat real estate agents in your local community that your recruiter's trying to recruit, which I don't like to call the person a recruiter even, just because of the terrible connotation that comes with it based on all the stuff I said. I've seen business development managers, CEO, general manager, all of those things. They deserve any title you give them because they're the one person that can actually change your bottom line. They're the one person that can grow the company. They're the one person that can get the broker owner out of production. That agent count does drive production and profitability, 80 to 90% correlation there. So if you're looking for more profit, more agents is almost always the answer. You can try to get them selling a little bit more and stuff like that, but it won't move the needle much. It's very tough because what we're focusing on is treating the agents in your local association like they're your sphere of influence. Okay? And with your sphere of influence, you don't take a hardcore prospector and put them on your sphere of influence, or you're going to poison your whole sphere of influence. I don't want another sales call from that guy. No, you try to add value, learn, listen, be first of mind, and help them until they're ready to buy or sell. You don't shake them down. And if you're doing that to your local SOI database of potential agents, you're doing a lot of damage. So just like sitting down and having formal recruiting appointments where you pull out the book and you show them, here's our structure versus your structure, you do that stuff, you are a rookie, man. I'm telling you, that stuff is suicide. You will not grow fast. It is old-fashioned, 60 years old-fashioned. That is really bad stuff. What we want to be doing is trying to learn about them, finding out their needs, finding out if there's ways we can help right now while they're at the other brokerage, and be genuine about it. And there's lots of ways you don't realize, and they're genuine. But it's going to require some growth out of you, because if you want to be the highest dollar value person in real estate, it's not a real estate manager. It's not a deal doctor. It's not a freaking real estate coach. It's someone that can recruit top producers. And I've met very few in my life. Very few. I can count them on my hands and toes. That's how many. And I've met a lot of people in this industry. So if you want to get to this level, where you can do that with sustained relevance, not for 1 or 2 years, not for 4 or 5, not where we burn through everybody, where you can just be this person, you're going to have to be patient. And that's very hard for real estate agents, especially top performers, to do. They're great warriors. They're not great chiefs. They move forward sloppy. They don't have structure. They're very dependent on the agent's whims. So the ability, when you're training a recruiter, for the owner to be patient and ensure that we are practicing skill development with them. And that starts with them having appointments, okay? The first thing that needs to happen is we need to track the number of appointments. Whether that's 5 a week, 3 a week, 10 a week. That's a heavy duty load right there, but I've seen it, done it myself. That's the first way, is we're going to practice reaching out, setting appointments, and having appointments. And we're probably, for the first 6 months to a year, that's all we're going to measure. That's all we're going to measure. If someone's able to have the requisite amount of appointments for a year, I very rarely see them fail at recruiting. But I will tell you, 99.9% of people that try to recruit with any longevity or success do fail eventually. And it's because they're not able to keep up with the right amount of appointments. It's always because they can't have the appointments. Always. Even the people that fancy themselves right now as good recruiters. Listen to this. I will tell you, you're not having enough appointments, so your game is dropping and all that kind of stuff. And you're probably losing some top agents and things like that. All those things that happen from not having enough appointments. Not being in your zone against a true recruiter. So the thing we can do is hold them accountable to having the appointment. And then coaching them through that. That's the key. And that's very hard, because as leaders, we're like, hey, you're not bringing anybody in. We're trying to establish a recruiter. So if he's out there just trying to pump numbers, we might get a bunch of low producers, non-desirables, new licensees, and all you're doing is weighting down what consumes most brokerages. You've got a bunch of low producers over there. I, a self-respecting top producer, I'm not going to sully my hands, demote myself, and go down to a whole bunch of people that either your friends, your family members, or low producers. That's your brokerage makeup. And that's most of them. That's just people that are tight, we're friends with, we're buddies, we're a family. No one wants to enter someone else's family. That puts the cult in culture. It's off-putting. It's not inclusive. Who isn't a freaking family anyway in their business? I think every brokerage on the planet says that. We're a family. Come on. Top producers could care less about your stupid family. They want to go to a place where they can earn the most income. They want to succeed in their business tools and business careers. They don't want to be messed with that kind of stuff. You'll start to find out. Bring one in. If you're able to recruit one, watch how long they stick around, all that family stuff. There's another name for it, drama. That's the other word for family, drama. Creates a lot of emotions. When people leave, they get upset. When they're upset before they leave, all that. That's why the best culture is production-centric. And if you want to recruit top agents and teams, we need to do it from a production-centric approach. And we need to attract people that are attracted to that. That is drama-free. Make sense? If you want family drama, just go to Thanksgiving with your family. You can do that. You'll get plenty of drama there. But I'll tell you right now, most brokerages, most teams, they're chock full of low producers and your friends and family. And that's it. And you cannot get anyone to make a decision that has the influence and respect of the top producer world to demote themselves into your brokerage. Guys, that will take time. That's why we have repeated appointments, because we have to demonstrate. We can't just talk and sell with a silver tongue. We got to actually help people, and that will take time. That's why the top recruiters are the top coaches. The top coaches are the top recruiters, vice versa. You've heard coaching is leadership. Leadership is coaching. You've got to be able to be out there and demonstrate when they don't even want to hear it. I've seen plenty of coaches have a hard time like motivating their people. I can't get them going. It's because they haven't recruited. I don't remember ever meeting with the top agent and they wanted to move companies to me. No, that's one more thing they got to do. They didn't want that. They want this dinner done and move on. It was on me to demonstrate and paint a picture of where they could go and start proving it to them even while they're at that other brokerage, giving them things to help them go where they want to go. And that comes from many meetings. With top agents, it's not uncommon to have 10 to 20 meetings with them before they join. So it's a whole different mindset than sitting down with a brand new agent, laying out the commission structure and comparing costs. It's got to be a commitment over time like it is with your SOI. If you first reach out, tell your whole SOI, you may not get much the first year until you saturate it and you gain mind share and they start to see you're adding value. Then the second, third, fourth years, most agents go that put the work in. The same is true with recruiting. You have to put the work in and you have to do so in a disarming way. Okay? So what we're doing when we're training a recruiter is, number one, we're being patient, because if they're having the activities the first 6 months to a year, that's big, right? That's big. That means they're still holding them. They're building rapport. They're building relationship. Now, oftentimes recruiters don't know what it takes to help agents. Say I sold 20 houses and I became the CEO of a company and I'm expected to recruit, and I'm recruiting a big team that sells 150 units. How am I going to help and coach them and add value to them? How am I going to help an agent that sells 50 units a year and they want to farm a new neighborhood? How am I going to help that person who sells 45 units a year that really needs to get an administrative assistant? How am I going to do that? I'm not a coach. Believe it or not, there aren't many of those conversations you have to have. There's probably 10 to 20, and they're going to be the same for everybody because everybody gets stuck at the same spots. In fact, I just said quite a few of those. So you learn to work through it. We have a tool I just want to show you that I've seen for, I don't know, 20 years now. And I just want to show it to you. And I love it to this day. You can put it in a CRM or whatever. I'm an old guy, so I like Excel spreadsheets. This is called the Recruit Pipeline. Okay. And I've never coached a recruiter without it. I wouldn't know how, because I got to have a dashboard. So I don't even know how to coach someone without some sort of tracking. To me, if you are doing it without tracking the number of appointments, I don't think you're succeeding. But what I would do is every time they have an appointment, they're going to come back and they're going to write their name. It's going to be like a Google Doc shared with me so I can see it every week before I meet with my recruiter once a week for 30 minutes to go over this, maybe an hour even early on. Here's the first person and the second person, the company they're with, how much they sell, and I'm going to rank them on a scale of 1 and 10. That's the most important line on here. 10 means they are joining my company today, or they've joined. Okay. 9 means it's just a matter of when, or they've decided to join. Maybe they've got some pending transactions that need to close. Maybe they're waiting for get a listing transferred. Who knows? But they've made their mind up. It's a matter of when in the near future. 8 means that they really see the value, they want to, but maybe they're loyal to their broker or something like that. And then all the way down to a 1. No way in hell, they probably won't even meet with me again, ever. Okay. So that's where what I'm doing. And then I'm going to put, who I've coached a bunch of recruiters at once. We got a few here, then the date of each meeting, and then their notes, what they discussed. This is their needs, guys. I want to know what they need, where their pain points are in their business. It's a great way to train a coach. And then next step, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to bring them to one of my trainings on that topic. I'm going to bring them a job description for the admin assistant. I'm going to text them a quick video to watch about how they could generate more business from a geographic farm. I don't know. I'm going to bring value. Okay. It's going to be tangible value. All those things I said were tangible, just not my mouth. I'd much rather show than tell. Okay. And what I'm doing when I'm coaching the recruiter is I'm making sure they're moving these numbers up towards a 10. See, I don't care if they meet someone 6 times, so long as the number's getting closer to a 10 and I'm seeing clear written description as to what this person needs to do to succeed to grow their business. They're going to write down what they need to do next. What can we use to set the next appointment? What can we use to keep them on the hook? So we're always moving 1s to 10s on the recruit pipeline, and it's crucial. This is why I think coaches must recruit to be good coaches, because you'll see a lot of coaches just sit out there and say, man, I just can't get them engaged, and they blame it on the other person. Oh no, we must learn to engage. Very rarely are real estate agents motivated, and they come up with excuses all the time. This shouldn't be new to anybody. Some people are just better at getting them engaged than others. They just are. And I can tell you, thousands and thousands of recruiting appointments has made me pretty good at it. I've had lots of practice. I had lots of appointments. I know how to reignite them. I know where their needs are. I'm not talking about where their problems are with their particular brokerage. I'm talking about their business. What are you going to do to get more listings? What are you going to do to transfer from a buyer's business to a listing side business? What are you going to do to then get an admin? What are you going to do to bring on a buyer's agent so you can get more of your time back and focus on getting more listings so you don't have to stop lead generating? You see what I'm saying? Like, those are the appointments I'm having. They're all the same issues. So training the recruiter, it's real simple. It's what I meet with them every week for. So I've got a real good one. They've got 5 agents on their team and 2 admin, but the lead agent is still in production and doing everything, and she's burning out. She can't recruit. She can't keep her agents happy. Then I'm going to actually show them. I'm going to sit down and say, okay, great. So here's what we can do to add some value. I might show them the job description for the general manager of a real estate team or a lead buyer specialist, and show them the compensation structures for that and how we can look for someone and pay them at maybe a 3 to 5% override off the sales of the agents on the team and anyone that person recruits. That would be like a mind blown for someone out there floating. I know that, but I've got to be able to train my recruiter to do that. I'm the recruiter's coach. I'm the recruiter's leader. So they're going to watch a video on it. They're going to look at it. I might explain it to them, and then they're going to go have their appointment. And guess what? They just mastered that topic. So they're going to learn to become a coach by staying in front of the needs of all the agents that they're recruiting. And they'll be very good because they're going to have to sell it each time. Much better than watching just a video. You're going to learn to master it. Most real estate coaches just learned by watching videos. These guys are out there practicing, overcoming objections. They master it. Absolutely master it. And they learn to stay in front. So we've got to be coaching them to learn. They're going to get massive professional development, and they're going to get time management because they have to set those appointments. And then over time, if they add value enough times, and pretty soon you've got some trainings on the topics that they're also doing, and you're inviting them to trainings in your office. Maybe you've got a master faculty set up of top producers now that are training, and you're inviting these recruits, and they're starting to say, wow, man, I'm learning more from this guy than I ever did my current broker, and I might as well be at that office, man. They got energy, and they're all production-centric, and my group just gets scrambled eggs and goes out to lunch because they're a freaking family. They've got great culture. It's just not the way top producers think. It isn't. Trust me, especially when things get busy and tough. Culture, honestly, I love it. It's a neat part, but it's just the wrapping paper. It can't be the heart of a real estate company. You're not gonna survive the turns and when market shifts. I can just tell you right now, it's got to be production centric. They got to feel like they can sell the most there through your office collaboration and production centric training, that kind of stuff. So it's crucial. So we're actually staying ahead of them. So my coaches should be coaching people trying to recruit with a recruit pipeline, and we're actually doing the diagnosis. We've got the Icenhower Institute is chock full of every type of value we could add to help them hit their needs. The key is right now we've got to be the doctor. They're going out and doing their diagnosis. They're out there in the recruiting appointment. They're trying to find out where it hurts. They're listening to the pulse. They're sticking lights down the ears, and they're asking deep questions on a needs analysis. Very deep to find out what's happening here. Where are the pain points? What's holding this person up from getting to the next level? And we're going to teach them how to do that, how to ask the right questions. It's going to take lots of appointments, and we're going to do it in our weekly meeting with them when we go over the recruit pipeline to see who they met with and start to see we're not getting good enough needs in that notes section. Now, we're the doctor. They're just the resident, right? They're just the resident doctor. We're the doctor. We're going to say, okay, let's show you the pharmacy. Let's go to this course, this module, and this job description. I want you to go apply this to the patient. So you set the next appointment and say, hey, I actually got a pretty good job description. I did some research on it. I want to show you what I found. And you can even say, talk to Brian, talk to the doctor, and say, hey, I thought this might help you. And you want to disarm them and say, hey, man, the best thing I can do is I have found that people move brokerages every 2 to 5 to 10 years. Most agents are at 3 to 5 different brokerages before they retire. And I just want you to know what we're like in case you ever get the hankering for a move. I'm never going to press you. The best way I can show you is give you a test spin out here on the road, trying to show you what we do and evidence it to you, because this is what we do. We help people sell more real estate, and I'm trying to do it even though you're at XYZ brokerage. And if you ever want to move, I'm here. Until then, I'm here to keep on helping you. Are you cool with this? And they'll be like, yeah. And there you go. Trojan freaking horse. Get about 100 of those. A good agent has 100 of those going at once, not just 1 or 2. They've got an entire database that they're moving up to 10s. And a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a lot more than well, what the? There's the same amount of appointments. I didn't up the amount of appointments on you. You just can't get so tied to the results. That's how I've done it my whole career. That's how I've taught it to all the top recruiters I've taught over the course of the years. There's nothing different. And I was taught this by people. I didn't make this up. I might have rounded off some edges on it and stuff, but it's about it. It works very well with top producers. So it's important that we're very patient. We're going to actually get them to learn. And so that way you're not throwing them over the shoulder. You've got these people that come in, you know everything about them, you know where their pain points are. You can keep coaching them when they're in the office. You can do trainings around it for their needs when they're in the office. Now you've got a production-centric community. You got a bunch of people that want to grow their business in your office. Not a bunch of people that want to have scrambled eggs. Different. That's the point to it. Make sure we use a recruit pipeline. Make sure we're holding them accountable, and make sure we're moving them and we're tracking their needs, and we're moving them closer by meeting their needs, and we're coaching and training by helping them with the deliverables from the pharmacy to keep them in front. And we'll actually add real value to people out there and gain a lot of respect. And we will not poison any well, because if you call somebody else, they're like, wow, this guy might see potential in me. Wonder how this guy can help me. Sure, a lot more than their current broker is, who's just a deal doctor helping them get their deposits back for their clients. So that's the idea. That's the plan.